行くぞみんな。そうはい。
What a fantastic introduction to Persona 5. You may be wondering why I say that, and that's because The Daybreakers was released a day before Persona 5 itself was released in Japan. This pleasant sampling of the Phantom Thieves' journey is still one of the best parts of the animated series, even though technically it's not a part of the animated series, and despite some odd exclusions in this OVA, it still stands as quite the enjoyable, albeit short, adventure that it is. The Daybreakers follows a slightly changed up questline from early in the game. Split between following the Phantom Thieves and a group of actual thieves, we get an unreliable narrator and view the story from different character POVs. This keeps it fresh, and while the thieves didn't get as much screen time as I would have liked them to, it makes sense as the OVA wants to keep their characters more of a mystery for people just picking up the game. However, the basis for everyone's personality is here, with some fun banter and bickering between Anne and Ryuji, a surprisingly softer Morgana who doesn't bully Ryuji as much as he does in the early game, and a more enigmatic Joker than who we get in the game. The story of the OVA does deviate a bit from the game, with the gang actually going through with using LeBlanc as their stage for the sabotage they put the robbers through, and Makoto not being with their group when they infiltrate Kenishiro's palace at the end of the OVA. The way the narrative twists and turns with how it presents the bad guys keeps you guessing with the thieves, who are actually doing real detective work and reconnaissance, which here made them feel more like the investigation team than P4's cast ever did in their own anime. The twist reveals throughout the anime were really fun, as they were built up really well, and the thieves themselves felt completely natural, despite this being the first time we actually ever get to see them interact as a team. The dialogue was a healthy mix between the casual, goofy tones the friends usually had, and naturally the more serious vibes given from their assault on the metaverse. Pacing-wise, it was spot on, and kept an incredibly energetic flow that made the 30-minute runtime feel like it was over in seconds, but this wasn't a bad thing in the slightest. The action and the editing complemented each other, with every edit flowing into set piece after set piece. Even the more calm moments with the characters just sitting around chatting had a building tension and a sense of coming payoff. And when the action scene in the climax finally initiated, it was well worth the wait. Most of the animation was flashy and really nice to look at, bar a few moments of non-focused bits of crust that was either completely ignorable or at least silly enough that it didn't ruin the scenes they were in. Otherwise, the animation was crisp, high quality, and weighty with nice attentions to detail. The final action scene is so much fun and was a great way to show off the character's abilities along with some of the enemies the game has to offer. I am disappointed that Joker only used Ursane, but since he is the poster persona for the game, it makes sense that they didn't want to show off every other persona Joker might have had at that point. I really appreciated that not only were most of the game's main entries in the OST here for their appropriate scenes, but I also really enjoyed the fact that the version of Life Will Change that played is the pre-casino version, which was a nice attention to detail, as despite the odd changes I mentioned earlier, it was really nice to see how much they actually kept in order. And with all that said, if you want to spend a fun and quick 30 minutes with the Phantom Thieves, this is definitely one of the best ways to do so, and doesn't have any of the problems most people complain about when it comes to the Persona 5 the animation as a series. Fun, fast, and a good introduction. If you're a new fan or a returning one, definitely give this a watch sometime. As always, if you want to help support the channel, please consider sharing the video with a friend or checking out my Patreon linked in the description below. If you have any comments, questions, or recommendations, leave them down below as I read and reply to everything. Until next time, this is Thierry Williamson signing off until the next video. See ya guys!